The solar system is home to numerous intriguing objects, and one among them is the planet Saturn, a celestial body that gleams with its glamorous rings. This cosmic marvel spins gracefully and has captivated the minds of the scientific world, propelling them to uncover the secrets it holds. Throughout man's endeavors in space, there have been a plethora of technological advancements that have led us to several jaw-dropping revelations that continue to intrigue us. From an artificially looking hexagonal pattern at its north pole to mysterious downpours, Saturn has always been the ground of such revelations and discoveries. Now, scientists have noticed something weird happening to Saturn's rings. According to them, the future inhabitants of Earth will not see the majestic rings of Saturn. Why do astronomers think that these rings are about to disappear? And what are these strange things moving along Saturn's rings? In today's video, we move to the ringed planet and find you with the answers that you seek. It was in 1979 when the Pioneer 11 spacecraft captured the first close-up images of Saturn. Though it was Pioneer 11 that had initiated our journey towards exploring this celestial giant, it was the Cassini mission in 2004 that helped scientists reveal both the wonders and mysteries of this ringed world. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system, and it has a core of about half the planet's radius, which weighs around 12 to 20 times the mass of Earth. One of the most interesting features about Saturn is that the planet floats in water, because its density is just about 0.687 grams per cubic centimeter. This gas giant is thus the least dense planet amongst the other planets of the solar system. Saturn's unique features do not end here, as while most other planets that orbit the Sun appear to be nearly perfect spheres, Saturn is the flattest of them all, with an orbital period of approximately 10.5 hours. The planet spins extremely fast, and this is what has led to the bulging at its equator and flattening at its poles. It has a diameter of approximately 75,000 miles at its equator and a distance of around 68,000 miles from one pole to the other. The yellow and gold bands of Saturn visible from Earth are some of the most striking physical features that this planet withholds, and these bands are caused by superfast winds in the planet's upper atmosphere that reach 1,100 miles per hour. If Saturn was to be examined closely, you'll spot a bizarre, colossal hexagon pattern that spans around 20,000 miles in diameter. The colossal pattern transitions from a bluish shade to a golden hue. It was Cassini's high-resolution images that were compiled to produce a stunning animation, leading to the revelations of this phenomenon in vibrant color. Within the swirling vortex of the hexagon located at the north pole of the planet, a colossal hurricane is seen with an eye that surpasses the hurricanes on Earth by a jaw-dropping 50%. There are reddish vortices to be seen scattered all around the hurricane as they swirl along in harmony with the counterclockwise motion of the hexagonal jet stream. While the hurricanes on Earth last for a week, this hexagon has continued to exist for decades or even centuries. The question is, how does a menacing storm like this form? With the help of a computer simulation, an intriguing phenomenon known as deep thermal convection was revealed. When heat is transferred either through fluid or gas movement, it can lead to the generation of atmospheric flow that results in the formation of large polar cyclones and an eastward jet pattern at high latitudes. Even now, scientists have not yet discovered any other storm like this to exist anywhere throughout the universe. The hexagons of planet Saturn are indeed a cosmic marvel, but Saturn has more to offer. As scientists examined Voyager's data, they came across something that's undoubtedly odd. There were mysterious spokes found across the planet's rings. Though there were a whole lot of mysteries surrounding this, things took a major turn during the Cassini mission, where no signs of these features were detected. Well, this had caused more intrigue regarding the spokes, and a closer observation showed that the spokes generally have a dark appearance when viewed from above. But as we view it from below, they appear to be bright researchers. While researchers are not sure for certain what's behind these mysterious spokes, what they do know is that they re-emerge seasonally during Saturn's spring and fall. You heard that right. Just like Earth has seasons, Saturn has 4 of them. But there's a slight twist. These seasons last for approximately 7 Earth years. According to a certain hypothesis, Saturn's spokes originate from dust particles in the rings that separate from icy chunks and float independently, right above the icy boulders. It's believed that it might just be Saturn's magnetic field that's behind this. The rings of Saturn are extremely flat, and certain observations show us that while the rings can reach a thickness of approximately 0.6 miles, the primary rings are extremely slender and measure just 32 feet in thickness. The ring particles of Saturn have a wide size range that spans minuscule icy grains that resemble dust to substantial fragments that are comparable in size to houses. It was only 4 centuries ago that we came to know about the rings of Saturn when Galileo directed his telescope toward the planet. He had described the gas giant planet to have ears or handles that were nothing but the elongated bulges that we recognize today. With Galileo's modest telescope, he could not discern the intricate details of the rings, which led him to mistake them for large celestial bodies that were positioned on either side of the planet. The particles within Saturn's rings, which are almost entirely composed of water ice, are engaged in a delicate equilibrium between 2 opposing forces. It's the gravitational pull of Saturn that attracts its rings towards the planet. Their orbital velocity also strives to push them outward into space. Well, scientists have wondered whether the planet evolved with its rings, and according to the latest findings, Saturn hasn't always had this eye-catching feature for more than 90% of its lifespan. So how and when did the infamous rings of Saturn form? One possibility is that the rings came into existence later in the planet's existence when small icy moons that orbited the planet collided with each other. These collisions may have been triggered by the gravitational influence brought on by asteroids or comets. According to a study conducted in 2016, the rings could be the remains of dwarf planets. The study proposes that these dwarf planets, which met their demise in the past, now exist as the rings of Saturn. Another possibility this study highlighted was that this could have been one large moon that collided with Saturn's largest satellite, Titan. A moon called Chrysalis existed before Saturn's rings and was similar in size to the planet's 3rd largest moon, Iapetus. There has been an instance in the past when Saturn and Neptune's gravitational interaction caused Saturn's axis to tilt and wobble in sync with Neptune's orbit. This leads to the differentiating angles at which we get to observe the rings of Saturn. A recent study shows us that the age of Saturn's rings is approximately 100 to 400 million years, but the problem is that their existence might just come to an end. A celestial marvel can cause the majestic rings of Saturn to melt away, and in about 100 million years, they will disappear under the influence of the sun's radiation or plasma clouds. The dust particles of Saturn's rings can become electrically charged, and when such a situation occurs, the dust particles bind to Saturn's magnetic field, which then draws them inward toward the upper atmosphere as they orbit the Sun. Quite recently, Saturn once again gained the title of the King of Moons of the solar system. There have been new satellites that have been found orbiting the ringed planet. Among these, Titan and Enceladus possess at least one essential ingredient that is essential for life. Titan is popular for its thick atmosphere and its abundant organic molecules, which include complex hydrocarbons that are considered to be the basic building blocks for life. When it comes to Enceladus, it has a subsurface ocean of liquid water that makes it a promising candidate for hosting life. There have been various new events taking place on Saturn, and they're leading us into new revelations. The rings of Saturn are one of the most majestic elements of this gas giant, and they've not been under our observation for long. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so that we can entertain you with more videos from the cosmos.